What's up, you guys? Stoopzz back again, and today I'm bringing you episode 2 of the Arena Healer coaching series. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more content. Alright, like promised, we're back with another episode of my Arena Healer coaching series. You guys seem to really like these videos, and while they're not the best type of videos in terms of growth for my channel, it's really all about helping you guys become better at World of Warcraft Arena, become better healers in PvP, and again, these videos seem to be the most helpful. I am looking for all types of gameplay. I am looking for high level arena rated gameplay. I'm looking for low level gameplay. I don't care what you send me. You don't have to ask if you can send me anything. Just go ahead and send me that email, and I will post instructions again at the end of the video on how you guys can send me that footage. Regarding those emails, just make sure that you're sending me a YouTube link. Make sure it's 720p or 1080p. Make sure that the screen is captured at a full resolution. There's no black bars on it. You're going to see that I think the capture device that was used, or the program that was used, didn't really capture the full resolution of the screen. So we're just going to hop right into this footage here. We are playing a Fury Warrior Mistweaver Monk versus a Retribution Paladin Resto Druid. This is from my boy Mattias. He sent me an email right away, so first come first serve kind of situation. What I am looking to see here is I'm looking to see a stun or Stormbolt on either one of the targets, as well as a CC on the healer. Now, you want to CC the Retribution Paladin because he has something called Blessing of Sank, and I think someone was nice enough to correct me, is a 30-second cooldown, and what that does is it breaks you of any silence, fear, stun effect every 30 seconds. So if you CC the Resto Druid, the Paladin can easily get rid of that stun and just kind of throw off your CC chain. So you need to make sure that the Paladin is CC'd in a stun, as well as the Resto Druid, if you are opting to try and kill the Retribution Paladin. If you are trying to kill the Resto Druid, similar situation, you still want to try and lock down this Paladin so he can get out of any silences, or in this case, a stun. He's gonna, or fear, for that matter. So very, very important there. Something I want to point out right away is I like your UI, very, very clean, and I did skim through the footage just a little bit to see what the result was in the match, and it does look like you lose the match, so I'm going to look for what you could have done to improve on to prevent that loss. Looks like you have your little damage meters here, and everything looks pretty clean. Doesn't look like you're running Mana Tea, so it's focused Thunder, I'm assuming. I would have preferred that you opt for Mana Tea in 2v2 situations, because dampening starts at 20% when you're playing with a healer, and that can be very troublesome when you're dumping out a lot of mana. And on this map, it is very, very small, and the Resto Druid will be looking for you to drink, and without Mana Tea, you might run into some troubles later, and we're going to look for that as well. So let's get right into this footage. I'm looking to see right now if you guys are in voice. I'm gonna look for some chat, and there is some chat right there. So it looks like there's no voice communication, and that of course isn't the best situation, but they are 2v2, so it's not as necessary as 3v3s. You are using Gladius, which I like. I'm gonna point out that I wish Gladius was a little bit bigger. You take up a lot of space on your interface with these damage meters, the double chat. I think if you make this a little bit bigger, you'll have an easier time seeing when CCs are coming, and I really recommend that for lower level players. And I'm not going to point out what exact rating you are. I'm not quite sure. I think this is sub 2k though. So match starts out. You didn't use your Thunder Focus Tea, and I've talked about that in a lot of matches. Just get Thunder Focus Tea into double Renewing Mist right off the bat. Get Renewing Mist rolling on both targets. Why not? You never know who they're going to target. It's an easy way to get your HOTS rolling. It might save you some mana in the long run. You're already doing an insane amount of damage to the Rep Paladin, as you know, at this moment. So far so good. Just would have liked to have seen you use the Thunder Focus Tea, and I'm looking to see where you drop a port. Here is a great port spot, by the way, you guys. I love these tombstones and the barrel for my ports. There's a barrel, like a wheel bag, a wheel barrel on the other side in that green ooze. I believe that's what it is. I like to set my port there or on this side, and then I play in the middle of the map. Or you can heal on this side and put your port in the middle. Just set your port somewhere behind one of these tombstones or in the middle, and then be at a good distance away from it, so you can opt to use it when they are coming in for that Hammer of Justice stun or the Bash Cyclone, which always happens in 2v2s. The druid's gonna display serve over to you, try and bash you, land a cyclone, and you can always port that before he gets to you without having to use, you know, your chi torpedo or your paralysis. Keeping your hots rolling, holding Soothing Mist for quite a long time here, but it's not bad. So I will point that out. In threes, I don't want people to opt to hold Soothing Mist for too long because there's multiple people that can interrupt you. But in this scenario, it's okay to hold Soothing Mist in 2v2s. I don't mind it. Your renewing has fallen off, I believe. There's no renewing right here. So I really want you to get that up right away. It looks like you also got a fear on the Rep Paladin, but you're attacking the Rep Paladin. So maybe he tried to get the Resto Druid. I didn't see that there, but that was not a good use of fear. He popped wings. The Druid spamming Healing Touch, which makes me think that he's using that Healing Touch Nourish build, I believe it is. You opted to use Enveloping Mist and still no renewing. That's like not using Rejuvenation, you guys. Every time you guys do not use Renewing Mist, it is a loss for healing. In fact, it's probably more mana spending than just spamming Infuse over and over again. You are running Fortune Turned, but just get Renewing Mist up every time it's off cooldown. You know, on yourself, on somebody else. It's very, very important to have it up. Okay. You don't have to go in here. This is not a good time to go in. You're running in on a Resto Druid whose whole goal is to find you into a Bash Cyclone, as well as a Paladin, he has Thorns on him right now, that has Hammer of Justice. I also want to point out that you don't have this add-on called Nameplate Cooldowns. I very, very rarely see players use this, this add-on. You can also opt to use Omnibar, and that will keep track of certain cooldowns, but Nameplate Cooldowns is amazing. It shows all of the main cooldowns above their head if they're used and how long they're going to be up for, or when the next time it'll be up. So for example, you could see how long Wings is on cooldown for, or how long Hammer of Justice is on cooldown for. You can predict things like, for me, it's great to know when his stun is going to be up. So if it's down, if his stun is not up and it's down, I can jump in for the CC. You don't know unless you really paid attention to it, which I might have missed, and I don't want to go back and rewind for it, but you don't know things like that without that add-on. So I highly, highly, highly recommend Nameplate Cooldowns. Again, you're not even in port range, I don't believe. Let's see. No port range. And you're going in for a CC. So your only way of getting out of here is either waddling out, because you use Chi Torpedo to get in, or Chi Torpedoing out, which means you have 0 mobility now. I don't like this. There's nothing happening here. In fact, he has wings. Your best bet is to sit back, pop Mana Tea, which you don't have, and just dump heals into this guy until wings is down, and then try and go for some CC. And in fact, he's already on DR for stuns. So you're gonna sap him, which you should do first, because he's already casting a heal. And then you're gonna stun him, and he'll be on DR, which means it'll be a reduced stun. So you're getting a mediocre CC chain at a very unnecessary time when this guy's already taking a lot of damage. And you stun first. You gotta sap first, and then stun. To see what's gonna happen, you would have got a longer CC. You could have kind of warned him that you're going in for the stun. I prefer sapping first and then stunning. I don't like the stun then sap. And he's already falling half HP. Wings is still going strong. And you got a mediocre stun, and you're all the way on this side of the map with no port. So he's on quarter DR, and you go for a sap. Why a sap? It's not going to do anything. Now you just threw up another DR on him. He has another DR, so you can't stun this guy for a long time. For you, it's not a big deal. And then your sap is on DR now. You want to save that sap. If you're just going to use the stun method, get out and save that sap for when the moment he comes into Bash Cyclone. However, I prefer that you portal versus sap, so you don't keep adding to this DR timer, right? Look at this. No renewing. You're spamming F fuses right now, and there's no renewing on this guy. You're dumping out so much healing. There it comes out. Just get the renewing up first. Get the renewing up first so it can bounce to you. You see how your movement is also very sporadic? I'm gonna let it play out and see how you move. Okay, here you go. He's coming in. Where's your port? Did you even set it down? I don't even see it. You're not in port range. This is where you port. You port out, and if he keeps chasing you, he's wasting a lot of time not healing, and then you can sap when he finally gets to you. This is time to port. And you got stunned. You trinket the stun. Don't like that. I do not like that. I would have much rather preferred you eat the stun, him trying to cast a clone, You trinket that, and then you're on DR for both. I didn't like that. I also don't like that you set your port here. Not a good spot to set the port. Unless you're playing on this side, this is not a good port spot. Let's go see if you play over here. So far the hots are doing okay, but you're moving a little too much. You're moving a little too much, and you just slow it down and just chill out. You're jumping all over the place. You're running past this guy. I mean, hopefully you're heading to this direction. You're playing on this side of the barrel. I don't like that, but okay. No renewing up again. Renewing has fallen off, and there's no renewing. I think it is on you now because it's transferred. Enveloping there. Still no renewing. You're healing through the walls. You see how you're moving so much? I mean, what are you avoiding? And then the sap for no reason. Not trying to be mean. I absolutely love you, and I'm just trying to help you, just like everyone watching this video. But you're just using cooldowns to use cooldowns. Sometimes as a Mistweaver, you guys, it sounds boring, but just sit back and chill and wait for like prime moments to CC. Anyone that tells you that you need to sap as much as possible, you're just putting things on DR for no reason, especially in threes. I see that all the time. Like someone will sap somebody because they think it's gonna help, and then the sap breaks immediately, and then now they're on a DR. If you're playing with a mage or anyone that has a DR timer with sap or paralysis, however you prefer to claim or title that word or title that ability, I'm sorry. You're using it and you're creating DR opportunities. That's why I said make this thing bigger. You have all this space, like you use all this stuff for damage meters, which isn't really that important in my opinion in terms of arena. Look at it at the end. Make this thing, make Gladius huge. Make it huge because you're not paying attention to DRs and you're using things willy-nilly. Like what are you interrupting here? He's at 89%. He's just gonna get topped. You still have to go through bubble. You still have to go through all these different cooldowns. I can't tell if he's used bark already. I haven't really noticed it, but if you had nameplate cooldowns, you could see bark skin up here as well, or iron bark, all that stuff. You can see shield of vengeance, divine shield. It shows you all that great stuff. And then also no renewing once again on our warrior, and it's off cooldown. So the sap, if you're playing too close, you could easily just play like way back here. You have your port over here, so get max distance on your port. Turn around and run farther this way. If your warrior decides to go over here and play on this side, then just move this way to this side of the screen. Ignore the black bars. This is what I was talking about in terms of like the resolution cutoff on his recording device. Go this way, back this way, and then you can heal from this direction. Other than that, you're doing okay. Like this is much better gameplay. You know, out of a lot of the videos that I have seen in terms of like Twitch and things like that, you're not doing awful at all. It's just these are things that you can improve on to make you a much better player. Save your CC, make sure renewing misses up, and you know, sit back a little bit. You're too close. You're gonna get repentance. They're stunned. All right, renewing on yourself. Okay, why are you doing this? You're casting a Vivify. I get that you have the proc. You know, more power to you. You already put renewing on yourself. If you're playing Vim and Vigor, which means that when you're above 80% health, this is an honor talent, so you heal for 20% more. You're already above 80%. And you're casting the Vivify on yourself. Just get an enveloping on him. There's no reason to do this. It's gonna be mediocre. Did nothing, and you know what I mean? You blew a ton of mana when you could have just F-used yourself to get to this point. That was a poor choice of spell use in terms of mana preservation. And now we have a DR timer here. Let's keep track of this as well. And enveloping would be nice here. He did move over to this side. I like how you're playing over here. I would just be a little bit farther back so you don't eat any, you know, bash cyclones or hammer of justice stuns. He's moving this way. Just come on this side. You know what I mean? You see how you're running over this thing to get to him? Just play on this side. Go over here by that barrel. Your portal's over here. Play on this side towards that little wheelbarrow. You don't need to play in the middle. You're moving around too much. Just go play on this side. And I think you'd find that you're doing much better in terms of your movement, positioning, and you know, inability to get CC'd as easily as before when you're doing this kind of tactic where you're running all over the tombstone. This is a good time to CC, but he's already on DR timer for both. You know, maybe you could tell your warrior to stop stormbolting as much. Also, I'd rather have him stormbolt the rep paladin, right? And then you stun this guy and there'd be no DR timer. If he were to, because the paladin essentially, if he doesn't have his honor talents, it's another story, but he could just break that stun every single time. So if he stuns the paladin and then you stun this guy, then you might get a bop, you might get a trinket, which they haven't used yet. You see what I'm saying? he should be able to break the Druid out of any stuns if you'd like to. So you're going to stun him, I'm assuming. You can get it out. There's no reason to. It's a half stun. It's a DR stun. No reason for him to really do that, but, you know, not a bad attempt. Now here, okay, why'd you use this? Just portal. You're wasting your chi torpedoes like all over the place. You're chi torpedoing in, you're chi torpedoing out. Just use your portal. It's right there. You can just get out instantly instead of slowly moving across. You know, why? Look, you came back in. You went out and then you came back in. You're running back in again. You sapped him. Why did you even leave in the first place? So this is what I'm talking. I love this video. This video is prime, and this is gonna help so many players at home. Again, no disrespect to this man. If I see you disrespecting this man in the comments, send me some of your own footage. You know, let's commend this guy for showing you areas where he's not doing well, so you can improve your gameplay. Why go in and out? You already were in here, and then you left, and now you're coming back in. There's no reason to get the sap off. You could have just stunned and stood still, and then sapped. Maybe you're avoiding the hammer of justice. I don't know. I mean, you're just wasting mobility. You could have ported and then just walked back in. Like, you know, you're running this way. You're running through this spot. Not if your goal is to go over here again, I like it. You know, I like it. Renewing's back up, I believe. Whoa, not a necessary cocoon. Okay, like the last guy. Just enveloping, thunder focus, a fuse, boom, he'd be topped. You did not have to use cocoon. Now when wings are up, you're gonna have no cocoon. I didn't like that. Nice thunder focus F-fuse there, I believe. That's a big F-fuse. Also, you could wait for your fortune turn to build up and then thunder focus F-fuse. If you noticed, maybe I'll bring it back a little bit. Let's see. So you're gonna come over here, sap, cocoon. Okay, thunder focus T, I believe. Right there it is. You F-used. If you F-use first, then thunder focus T F-fuse, you could do that. Because look at the next one. It's gonna do almost as much healing as the thunder focus F-fuse. It's, you know, it's a lot. So not a bad choice there. Holding it. Here's a good moment to drink if you really wanted to. You can see the druid's moving in, okay? As he comes over here, just port. Just port. Not bad movement. A little, you don't have to do it. You're just setting him on DR timers. Look at that did absolutely nothing. You just extended this timer. It just put back a DR timer on him once again. The guy was at 100% health. He wasn't even trying to clone you. Had he come in and tried to clone you or bash you, you could just port. I prefer you port over sapping him. But just stop wasting it. Just chill out, man. Take a deep breath. It's 2v2s. Put on your favorite jams. Put on some Beastie Boys or whatever you like to listen to. Some Fetty Wap. I don't know what relaxes you. And then just sit and chill, man. Relax. This is the best platform for you to learn how to play your class. Just chill out. Don't blow too many abilities when not necessary. If you lose a couple games because you're too relaxed, I prefer you do that over. Oh, no, I like how I believe this is Displacer Beast. Not a bad Omnibar. I like that. Just relax. Renewing's falling off. Get ready to reapply that. No Manatee. You see you're going very, very fast, especially with dampening coming into play here. No renewing. No renewing. It's off cooldown. Use it, use it, use it, use it, use it. Okay, here's another thing. You're about to guarantee you eat this repentance because you're playing too close, right? Had you play a little bit farther back, you wouldn't eat this. Oh, he kicked it. All right, here's another one. Boom, a 7-second CC on you, and you sapped again. For what reason? You know, if anything, you could have sapped that repentance. Just using it to use it, you know? Putting him on DR timers is not necessary. No renewing up right now. If you would have used it earlier, you would have had some healing to prevent this damage right here. So you probably would have been like over here. You wouldn't be taking this much. Warrior leaps over, fears. So here is when you would want to have sapped, you know, because you sapped here. He's on DR. He's also on stun DR. Paladin can break all of this for the druid. He's not doing that. But if when he fears, you haven't used anything because you're relaxed. Boom, he fears him into Afghanistan, you know, and then you just run over there, sap, and then stun. Amazing, amazing combination. Hopefully he hasn't stormbolted, and then during that time, your warrior, rather than stormbolting the druid for no reason, just stormbolt the pally, and then you go for a kill. You probably can get bubble right here. Shield of Vengeance is up. I like how he's just detargeting as well. Let's see if he comes back to him. Ooh, Thorns and Shield of Vengeance. A lot of damage gonna come on your, and there it is. Boom. Look at the damage that guy just took. He just chunked himself, and that shield blew up. A lot of damage on your warrior. Unfortunate for you, and also still no renewing. I'm not trying to harp on that, but very, very, very important. I talk about this in all of my guides. Still too close, my friend. Nice low health there. Bop. Okay, you got the bop and bark skin. So overlapping. Really good for you, man. I'm happy. You're moving a little too much. You see how you're jumping in? The Chi Wave, I'm not a fan of. Just Chi Wave should be used. The way you really want to use Chi Wave, you guys, is when there's somebody chasing after you. You want to target the guy right next to you in Chi Wave and let it bounce between the both of you like a machine gun. And it does a lot of healing and damage. And I really like using it that way. Not a bad use of the ability. Prefer you would have just wasted that. Instead of using that global for the Chi Wave, just remember to use your renewing, right? Still no renewing. Much more powerful heal. Much more beneficial because it'll top him hopefully and then spread to you and keep healing you as well. It saves you a lot of mana because it spreads, and that's its greatest strength, you guys. Just play over here, my friend. Set up your portal here. You haven't used it once this entire game. Just play over here. And he's taking a lot of damage. You're moving too much. You're running around like you're like a chicken with your head cut off. You see how close you were? You're right in that guy's face while he's casting. You know, just step back and then use your artifact. I like that you're opting to use your artifact, but you're too close, dude. It's too easy. And now Wings is up. You're in a lot of trouble. I think your Cocoon is still down for 20 seconds. The Druid is just pumping out Solar Wraths on. Wait a minute. Is he attacking your statue? Hold on. I have to look at this. Oh my gosh. This guy's attacking your statue. Does he realize that he's not attacking the warrior? Okay, we won't comment on that anymore. Still no renewing or enveloping here. Where's the Cyclone by the Druid? Sap, decent sap, because you have your stun here. Boom, Stormbolt. And then you stun on top. No, just relax. You had so much time on the sap. You didn't have to do it right away. My biggest takeaway from this, dude, is maybe you're new to 2v2s, maybe you're new to arenas, or maybe you had a couple of energy drinks. Just chill, man. Relax, enjoy the game, see everything that's going on, open your eyes, look at everything. You sapped, you had a little bit left on the sap. Stormbolt went out. You were too ready to press the stun right away. You weren't waiting for your guy to capitalize off that. Also, he can break these stuns. I'm not sure why he's not doing it. And then stun. Or stun the pally, you know? Just look around. Druid still has trinket too. Okay. You hopped out, move this way. You're jumping, you're using this thing is lining you. It's lining you from them, but you can poke with that tombstone. This thing is a bad spot to be in. You jumped over and then you jumped down. You're jumping all over the place, still no renewing. You're popping out your Thunder Focus T FBs, which I really like. Chi Wave is off cooldown. I would opt to use it if you're going to use it the way you are. Okay, he's coming in, and you've sapped him again. Not bad, but you have the Chi Torpedo out of here because you don't use this port. I opted or would have preferred to use your port on this side or on that wheelbarrow, and then you wouldn't even have to use this end cap and reset this DR timer again. You could have just ported away. What you have to do now is if he keeps chasing you, you're going to Chi Torpedo away. He's going to chase after you, and then you port back over here, reset your port, and then run over here. Okay? Chi Torpedo sapped. Nice Chi Wave. Still no renewing, my friend. It's dying. I'm dying inside. I want you to use that so bad right now. He gave up on you. You're using this thing. Again, I like you to use this spot. Nice big distance away. There's thorns. You're just digging into it. Nice Hammer of Justice there. Why are you running in? You're not going to get anything. This guy's on full DR, man. And he's stunned again. Just chill. You don't need to help out so much. Let your guy do the damage. Oh, Red Paladin's getting low. Still no renewing, man. Please. You switch targets? You're going to try to do some damage? Okay. I like that you have the initiative, or you're taking the initiative to do damage. Much respect to you. But there are no hots rolling on your guy. Get hots rolling and then opt to do damage. Don't do damage first. Let him get really low and you blow cooldowns to get him back to where he was just because you were doing like 200k with lightning, crackling lightning. You're spamming out F fuses, it looks like, but there's no hots rolling. So here's another thing. When you do not have enveloping up, you are losing 40% of your healing, which means you're going to spend more mana healing to top the guy had you just spent the mana necessary to throw up enveloping in 1 F fuse versus like 5 F fuses, and you're not even getting him to where you want him to be because you're losing out on 40% healing. Also, you're getting very, very low to 80%. Make sure you keep that above. You can always use Healing Elixir to save mana to heal yourself. You're running low on mana here. You're going in for some CC on a guy who has all these DRs. That is nothing. He's going to be out, boom. But, okay, by the time you did your stun and then the global went off and then you threw up 1 heal, he's already out. I like that you went back in this room. Set down a portal here maybe. Okay, you're gonna go back here. You can always another sap. Nice. Just a little too much movement, but I feel like you have your good heal priorities, right? And you know, in terms of you being comfortable with AMA. Look at that. See, a nice, very clean FUs. Thunder Focus C FUs, like, you know, renewing's up now again, I think. Oh, it's on yourself. You can just use healing elixir for yourself, bro. You can opt to put it on him. Enveloping's off again. Cocoon, not necessary. You could have just done a ton of different things. Add a renewing on and a fuse. Shulan's gift at 12. You don't gotta use Shulan's gift, Shaylun's gift. I always mispronounce that. You can use other things. Going for a drink here, not a bad idea. I would have preferred that you know, go to that tombstone and try and drink, right? The back spot, and you have a portal here if he comes to bash you. Druid's realizing that you're drinking, slowly trying to make his way over, I think, or not even realizing that at all. Never mind. The stun, again, another DR, but it's okay. You're in a bad stun because you ran in like melee range. You could have stunned him and went that way. Just leave this guy alone. You're not gonna do anything coming in here. You're not, you know, you're not playing Waves of Crane. Cyclone. You came in. This is costing you the match right now. If you guys lose right here, oh, no need, my friend. No need. Just enveloping, FUs, renewing, Shaylun's gift, revival. It's not even, you know, he jumped away. The paladin doesn't have an execute. Didn't even do anything. I mean, it did very little healing. I mean, it literally did like, let's watch that back so I can show everyone at home how much healing it does when you have no enveloping on. Did you guys see anything? Enveloping. Oh, he's getting so low. Thunder Focus T FUs. Just renewing. You're losing out on so much healing. Renewing. Chi Wave. Shaylun's gift. Stop the clone. Nice job there. Much respect, my friend. You sapped it. Good job. Still no renewing, Mo. Oh. I mean, I didn't like that you walked through there, but I don't know where your Chi Torpedo is on it here. Maybe opted for your Chi Torpedo there. If you had your port over here, I didn't like that. So I think at this point you've forgotten to use Renewing Mist. Paladin's getting low, Bark Skin, but we still have to go through Bubble, don't we? You're running in again for a sap into a stun. Decent. You took that one a little more relaxed. This guy's repentancing instead of just getting it. Oh, I think he did get him out that time. Okay. Healing Wave. Still no renewing. You're just jumping so much mana trying to keep this guy up. So just, you know, general takeaways while this match is going on. 2v2s are a little bit long. This match doesn't have too much long to go, or it's not going to go much longer, but you're just using cooldowns to use them. There's a nice, I really like that use of your Renewing Mist there. You're moving too much, which making you eat too many CCs. You need to just sit back and just take away spacebar or something. You jump too much. You jump in, you jump out. I like jumping in the game, but sometimes you can jump yourself in stupid spots. Like, look how many CCs you're eating right now. This isn't your warrior's fault, you know. This is you eating too many CCs. Like, you're standing right here in the middle. Go over here. You know, you can use your Chi Torpedo to just shoot over here and heal over here, and you report over here. You know, use this guy as the middle point to them. Good positioning is 40 yards on this side while he's in the middle, and then they're over here, right? They're the middle point, you're over here, and the enemy's over here. If the warrior's at on the end, that sucks for you when they're in the middle and you're on the end. You want him to be in the middle, you to be on this side, and them to be on this side. And you can see so many CCs coming. You can see the Displacer Beast, you know, bash. I like how you're tracking the cooldown there. You can see these things coming. Maybe you have Hammer of Justice and I haven't noticed, but you can see things like that coming. Oh, Cocoon. Okay, not a bad Cocoon. Enveloping was up already, but Shaylun's gift would top this guy right now. With that, you're going in for some CC. I do like it here. It makes a lot of sense. I would let him eat the sap first, and Shaylun's gift can top this guy with that enveloping up. And you do have renewing. Sap, chill. Nice stun. Really beautiful stun there. You know, the Pally bopped himself. Shaylun's gift without enveloping. You're losing 40% healing right now, my friend. This thing's gonna hit 40% less, and you already earn big, deep dampening. Hit the enveloping up first before you opt to use Shaylun's. Wait a minute, what did that even heal? Did that do nothing? Wow, it literally did nothing. Didn't heal for anything without the... Oh, man, he's got to be dead here. He's got to be dead. Come on, my friend. You can do this. I believe in you. No! You're spamming F-Fuse. You don't have enveloping or renewing up. You have no HOTS and you're pumping out F-Fuse. And you have Thunder Focus Tea up. That was a panic. You gotta get the HOTS rolling first. Get that 40% buff. Thunder Focus Tea, F-Fuse, Chi Wave, another F-Fuse. Things like that, my friend, will help you much more than what you're trying to do. He leaps farther away from you. He's putting them in the middle and him on the end. This is bad positioning on his part and putting you in an awkward spot. So what are you going to do, right? They're right here. He's right here. How can you make him the middle point? What can you do to make this guy the middle point? You go over here. Put him in the middle. Them right here. And that's good positioning. And your portal's over here too, right? Not bad. You port here if you need to. He's there. Guys coming around. Sap. You would look like he was running in circles. I don't know if you had to sap him there. But that was a Storm Bolt on that guy. Still no renewings, and he's dead. So what are my takeaways from that match? Well, very comfortable using AMA, but you forgot to use Renewing Mist a lot. That is so important. You didn't use your port, and you used too many CCs at like the wrong times. You were just using paralysis to use paralysis. Your positioning could use a lot of work, and you were moving around too much. Now, I really do hope I'm not being harsh. I'm just trying to help you, my friend. I want to help everyone watching this video. I think what everyone needs to do is play more 2v2s, play more 3v3s, and just relax. Have a beer, eat a good meal, play with some friends, play your favorite music, joke, have fun, just relax, because the more stressed out you are, the more you're gonna jump around and move in stupid spots. You ate too many CCs at the end there, and you started to panic. You stopped reapplying Renewing Mist altogether. You stopped using enveloping before your biggest heals like Revival, Shaylun's Gift, and even a Fuse. At the end, you were just pumping out Fuses without any 40% healing increase off of enveloping mist. I think you're a good player. I think you could do really well. I think you're aware of when to CC. I saw you going in there for paralysis, stuns, sweeps, when the guy was getting low, but at certain points when the guy was already topped, like where the Red Paladin was already at full HP, you were trying to CC, or you're just using paralysis to use it. You weren't paying attention to your DR timers, and that is very, very crucial. But I just want to thank you so much for sending in that footage. I really, really appreciate it. I hope this video was helpful for you, as well as everyone watching this video at home. And if you guys have any footage for me, any gameplay that you want me to review, I'll put like a little a list of stuff that you guys can do to send me in your footage. You don't have to ask in the comments below. You can just go ahead and send me that email following the instructions listed on the screen, and I will be sure to get back to you guys as soon as possible. But that's gonna do it for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you have any more questions regarding this video, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you guys right away. Try not to miss me on my YouTube live stream where I answer all of your guys' questions in depth. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.